I'm Meg Miller.
And I'm Mike Translin, and this is Meg and Mike in the Morning.
Hillary Clinton was interviewed yesterday, presenting a very mild persona, contrary to how many thought she would react to the recent media sabotage. She answered many hot-button questions, like her plans, if she were to assume office, of pulling the troops out as soon as possible. She understands that withdrawing the troops immediately necessarily implies a somewhat lengthy process due to the nature of transporting tens of thousands of troops. She also discussed her pledge to give $50 million to AIDS relief if she were president. As to her views on illegal immigration, she is against immediate deportation and for creating a productive member of society out of immigrants who must comply with U.S. laws as well as apply for citizenship. Once again, she outlined her four main points: rebuild, reform, restore, and reclaim.
Try to have employer penalties for people who hire illegal immigrants, build a big fence, other sorts of methods that I support to prevent illegal immigration. But once they're there, I am not in favor of deporting them.
Yesterday, we spoke to John Edwards, a strong opponent of the war in Iraq. Edwards wishes to draw all troops from Iraq within a year of him entering the office of President of the United States because, as he says, peace is more important. He says that instead of supporting funds for the war, he believes that special funds should be made to support the starving populations around the world, as well as health care for our own people. He believes having everyone in our own country insured is more important than keeping our troops in Iraq, which he believes is not worth the costs.
Romney was asked in a recent interview about the key issues of these days, those which people are concerned about with the coming elections. He plans on pulling the troops out, but only when he thinks the time is right. He said that if he pulls them out too soon, all could be wasted, including the lives of the troops that were already sacrificed. He believes that if he brings them home too late, Iraq could start relying on the U.S. more than they should. As we moved on to healthcare, he stated that he would like to make it tax deductible so that more people could afford it.
Then, in regard to the $9 trillion debt, Romney said that he would like to have a complete inspection of the government, looking to see if money is being spent well. He also would like the world to join forces to decrease carbon emission. Next, he strongly believes in deporting illegal aliens to their country to join the immigration line when found. He is also determined to help America gain energy independence. He believes that we need to be less reliant on other countries and more reliant on ourselves. Recently, candidate Barack Obama gave a stump speech to the 5th grade. The 5th grade asked enthusiastic questions, and Senator Obama responded earnestly that he believes the education of our students is very important, and that middle-class families deserve affordable education. With the mindset that we must protect our homeland, he said it would be detrimental to pull our troops out of Iraq now, since we are so committed to the war.
During his speech, a student posed the question, what if we don't win the war? He replied by saying that he would have to hear Iraq out and reconcile the country and other countries. He ended his speech by telling the 5th graders that their input would influence his decisions if he became president, since they are our future.
When the 3 leaders in the pop culture group were interviewed, they conveyed a great anticipation to 3 things: protests, cartoons, and a late-night show. We have not seen any notable protests so far in this election. The group's cartoons often can be seen in the Academy Post or the Covenant Gazette. The late show last night with Aaron Fitzpatrick was a huge success.
Everyone knows that all the presidential candidates are fighting and scratching each other's eyes out. But tonight we managed to snag both of the winners of Michigan before they head out to South Carolina. Oh, and Obama. Romney and Hillary both won. Hillary, being the only major Democrat on the ballot, won but only got 61%. Maybe all the men refused to vote for her. But I mean, still, 39% rather have anyone else but Hillary? Anyway, we'll talk about that later. First, we have Crystal Kistner.
The audience could barely contain themselves at times as the host and 3 invitees fought over some of the hottest issues, as well as some of the lesser important. Crystal Kistner, the first of the guests to be introduced, won for herself the complete admiration of the audience for her song, Dear Mr. President. She also shared that her candidate of choice was John Edwards, who had not been invited to participate in the show, but was in the audience.
How do you dream like a mother has no chance to say goodbye? How do you walk with your head held high? Can you even look me in the eye? Let me tell you that little wait with a baby on the way. Let me tell you that
Hillary Clinton was then ushered in carrying a tissue box, quipping that it was for use if she got too emotional, in reference to the earlier press release in which her press secretary said that Clinton's greatest weakness was her irrationality and the fact that she was easily angered. She asserted that these were all a joke as she told Romney in reference to the subject brought up about his pet. "Your dog has issues. My press secretary has issues," producing great laughter from the crowd. She ended her appearance by quipping, "I guess I didn't need the tissues after all."
Yesterday's press releases brought together the opposing views and opinions of the candidates acting in this year's presidential elections. The pro-choice Governor Romney, first-place candidate in the Michigan primary, wishes to make health care more affordable for the average American, and through that wishes to decrease competition and lower the health care debt in the country. Romney says that the $9 trillion debt owed in this country can easily be solved by stopping unnecessary spending and putting our money to good use so that the debt will gradually decrease. Romney also says that increased military will bring the war to an end. He wishes to strengthen intelligence from threats by means of research.
Jonathan Edwards, a pro-choice candidate, is concerned about the issue of poverty in both America and other countries. He thinks that research should be done on poverty to find the best solution. On the issue of immigrants, Edwards believes they are only afraid of the consequences of moving to the United States. He thinks that if they behave well, they should be allowed to stay in the country. Back to the Republicans, pro-life Senator John McCain thinks that we should support our troops in the war. Every American, McCain says, should have the opportunity of a good education. Senator Hillary Clinton also presented herself at the press release and stated that the war in Iraq should not be supported and the troops will be drawn out. Immigration into the United States will be allowed if they intend to become productive members of society. They will be allowed to stay in the United States as long as they follow U.S. laws and begin going through the citizenship process.
Tune in tomorrow for continuing live coverage of the presidential elections.
And for all of us here at WCCA TV, thank you for watching Meg and Mike in the Morning. Next up, The Price is Right.